Hello, future developers. So, welcome to the continuation of our data visualization course. So now, in our previous lesson, what we learned to do was to do that of the legend, okay, the title, and then the labeling. Okay. So now this time around, we want to use grade. So grade, in JHS, I learned about grade like graph. You see those boxes, tiny boxes that would help us to actually focus or do the plotting. Okay. So grade. Okay. So from those from the web development background, like CSS grade and the likes. Okay. So there's the kind of grade for Python or matplotlib. So that said, I'm just going to copy this from our previous code. Okay, then I'm going to paste it here. Okay. So now what we are left with is just to do some plotting. So I'm going to start with plt dot plots. And then what I want to plot is I want to plot my x and y coordinates, so x comma y, and then I'll set my this particular coordinates, okay, to blue, so b, sorry, let's do b, so blue, and then we'll give it, so the peak will give it an asterisk, and then we'll give the line colon. Okay, so let's plot it out and see what happens. So plt dot show. Okay, so that's for the first one. Okay, so you can see we have the dot dot or dash, and then we have the asterisk or the star for our peak point. So now we would want to work with plt dot plots brackets, and then we want our x2 comma y2, okay, these coordinates, and then comma would also want to give it, so inside the codes we'll give it some properties that want this to be yellow, and then capital P for the peak points. Okay, and then let's use dash dash. Okay, so let's run it and see. Okay, so you can see yellow. It doesn't look more like yellow, but yeah, the yellow family. And then our plus, okay, for our peak points, and then our line is dashed. Okay, so let's see what else to do. So now we would want to actually work plt. So let's work with the label. So plt dot x label. My x label, I'm going to call it days, and plt dot y label, and I'm going to call it let's say temperature. And now I'm going to give, so it's basically the same thing as we have here. So all I have to, let me just copy this. I'll just change and then we'll add some code to it. So let's paste this here, Control V. And I think we need the title. So plt.title. Okay, we already have temperature. So plt.title. Okay. So our legend. Okay. In the previous lesson we learned about legend. So here we want our legend to be at let's say lower right. Okay, we can actually use a string or you can use the number. That's numerals as I showed you in the other lesson, previous lesson. Okay, so instead you can use strings or numbers. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, so we have our legend, okay, our title, and then our labels. So our legend. So now we would want to add for some grade. So to do that, we'll do plt.grade to bracket. It's just like CSS flex. Okay, so display flex, display grade. Here we have plt.grade, and then the parentheses I'm going to give it a color. Okay, so color equals we'll assign it, so equals let's use blue, so B for blue, and then I'm going to give it a line style um, of, let's use dash dash comma, and then we'll a line width, so LW line width of let's use 30. Okay, so I think this yeah, this is, so let's run it and see. Oops. Okay, so you can see that how to change our thickness to, let's use 0.30. Okay, so when I run it, okay, so you can see now we have our grid. Okay, so you can change the thickness to, let's see, I can change to 10, and let's see what happens. Run it. Yes, okay, so there's our grid to help us to actually get some exact positioning of our location of our coordinates. And then we use lower right, which is why we have our legend at the lower right. Okay, so yeah, so that should be it for our grid. Let me see which other property. Let's just try change this grid color to green, and let's see what happens. Okay, so we have the green grid. Okay, so that should be it for our grid, and then thank you for watching, and then I'll see you in our next lesson. Thank you.